All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Valsa Williams. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump pledged to strengthen India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership. India and United States signed defense deals worth $3 billion. Home Minister Amit Shah says adequate forces have been deployed in affected areas of the national capital and the situation is under control. Egypt's former President Mohammed Hosni Mubarak, who ruled the country for 30 years, passes away. And in the ongoing Khelo India University Games, Savitribai Phule Pune University tops the tally with 14 medals, including 7 gold and 2 silver. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump have vowed to strengthen the India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership, which is anchored on mutual trust, shared interests and goodwill. A joint statement last evening said both leaders pledged to deepen defense and security cooperation, especially through greater maritime and space domain awareness and information sharing. President Trump welcomed India's recent decision to procure MH-60R naval and AH-64E Apache helicopters. As India works to acquire new defense capabilities, President Trump reaffirmed India's status as a major defense partner, affording it the highest consideration for procurement and technology transfer purposes. The leaders looked forward to early conclusion of defense cooperation enabling agreements, including basic exchange and cooperation agreement. Both leaders recognized the increasing importance of the trade and investment dimension of the India-United States relationship. They agreed to promptly conclude the ongoing negotiations. India and the United States yesterday finalized defense deals worth $3 billion and signed 3 agreements, including in health and oil sectors. A memorandum of understanding was signed on mental health between the health departments of both the countries. Another MOU on the safety of medical products was signed between the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. A letter of cooperation was signed between Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Exxon Mobil India LNG Limited and Chart Industries Incorporated, U.S. In a joint press meet, after holding extensive talks with visiting U.S. President Donald Trump in New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the defense cooperation between the two countries is reflective of rising strategic partnership between India and the U.S.
अत्याधुनिक रक्षा उपकरण व प्लेटफॉर्म पर सहयोग से भारत की डिफेंस क्षमता में बढ़ोतरी हुई है। हमारे डिफेंस मैन्युफैक्चरर्स एक दूसरे की सप्लाई चेन्स का हिस्सा बन रहे हैं। भारतीय फोर्सेस आज सबसे अधिक ट्रेनिंग एक्सरसाइज यूएसए के फोर्सेस के साथ कर रही है।
The Prime Minister said they have decided to enhance efforts to hold supporters of terrorism accountable and agreed on a new mechanism to contain drug trafficking.
प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने ड्रग्स और ओपियोइड क्राइसिस से लड़ाई को प्राथमिकता दी है। आज हमारे बीच ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग, नार्को टेररिज्म और ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्राइम जैसी गंभीर समस्याओं के बारे में एक नए मैकेनिज्म पर भी सहमति हुई है। कुछ ही समय पहले स्थापित हमारी स्ट्रेटेजिक एनर्जी पार्टनरशिप सुदृढ़ होती जा रही है।
The Prime Minister added that both countries are committed to openness, fair and balanced trade and have decided to enhance strategic energy partnership. In his statement, President Trump said India and the U.S. have expanded their defense cooperation with agreements for New Delhi to purchase more than $3 billion of advanced American military equipment. Mr. Trump also affirmed the two countries' commitment to protect their citizens from radical Islamic terrorism.
In our discussions, Prime Minister Modi and I affirmed to protecting our citizens from radical Islamic terrorism. In this effort, the United States is also working productively with Pakistan to confront terrorists who operate on its soil.
The U.S. President said another major focus of discussions today was forging bilateral economic relationships that is fair and reciprocal. Briefing media in New Delhi yesterday, Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said the Indo-US Comprehensive Strategic Global Partnership has been reinforced by President Trump's visit. He informed that talks between the two leaders were held in 5 major categories of security, defense, energy, technology and people-to-people contact. A report.
From Motera Stadium in Ahmedabad to the last engagement with the Indian leadership at Rashtrapati Bhavan, President Trump's visit witnessed the growing warmth and closeness between India and the United States. A crowd of 1.2 lakh people at the Motera Stadium gave a rousy welcome to Mr. Trump, while his engagement with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi gave a new high to the bilateral relations. The discussion on defense and security, energy, trade and people-to-people ties were the major highlights of the visit. The two countries also resolved to jointly fight against radical Islamic terrorism. The decision to move towards a big trade deal will also give a new dimension to the Indo-US ties. With Diwakar, Anupam Mishra, AI News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the US President Donald Trump's visit has been path-breaking. President Trump left last night after completing a nearly 36-hour-long visit to India. Thanking Mr. Trump for coming to India, the Prime Minister said in a series of tweets that he and Mr. Trump covered great ground as far as strengthening bilateral relations are concerned. Earlier last night, President Ramnath Kovind hosted a state banquet at the Rashtrapati Bhavan for the last engagement of Donald Trump's 2-day visit. In his banquet speech, President Ramnath Kovind said India is deeply committed to further deepen the strategic partnership with the United States. The US President said he was honored to be in India. President of Myanmar, U Win Min, will arrive in New Delhi this afternoon on a 4-day state visit to India. Mr. U Win Min will be accompanied by the First Lady, Daw Cho Cho. He will visit Akshardham Temple in the national capital this evening. He will be accorded ceremonial reception at the forecourts of Rashtrapati Bhavan tomorrow. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Union Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday said that adequate forces have been deployed in the affected areas of the national capital and the situation is under control. Mr. Shah chaired a meeting to discuss the current situation in the national capital after violence erupted in northeast Delhi over the Citizenship Amendment Act. Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, senior officials and representatives of different political parties attended the meeting. During the meeting, Mr. Shah urged the political parties to exercise restraint and rise above party lines to tackle the situation. Delhi Police has said the situation in violence-hit areas of northeast Delhi is under control. Police officials said 11 FIRs have been registered in connection with arson. Delhi Police Public Relations Officer M.S. Randhawa told media that sufficient forces have been deployed in the northeast district and Central Reserve Police Force, Rapid Action Force and additional resources of Delhi Police are also active. He added that 56 police personnel and 130 civilians received injuries in the violence. Mr. Randhawa said Section 144 has been imposed in the affected areas and appealed to people to maintain peace and not to believe in rumours or take law in their hands. The death toll in the violence has now risen to 10. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval met top Delhi police personnel late last night at the Office of Deputy Commissioner of Police Northeast and reviewed the situation. Mr. Doval, accompanied by senior police officials, visited areas affected by violence in Northeast Delhi. Senior IPS officer S.N. Srivastava has been appointed as Special Commissioner Law and Order of Delhi Police. Mr. Srivastava was posted as Additional Director General in CRPF before this assignment. The Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE has postponed today's Class 10 and 12 board examinations in the areas of northeast Delhi in view of the violence. Examinations in the remaining parts of the national capital will be conducted as per schedule. CBSE has said the examinations have been postponed at 86 centres falling in northeast Delhi. It said the next date of exam for the affected students will be notified soon. The schools in violence-hit northeast Delhi will remain closed today. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting yesterday issued an advisory to all private satellite TV channels. They have been asked to be cautious about content that may encourage or incite violence or contains anything against the maintenance of law and order or which promote anti-national attitudes. The Supreme Court will hear an application today filed by former Chief Information Commissioner Wajahat Habibullah and others. The application seeks direction to the police to lodge FIRs on the complaints regarding the ongoing violence in Delhi over the Citizenship Amendment Act. The application was mentioned for urgent listing before a bench of Justices S.K. Kaul and K.M. Joseph. Today is the first anniversary of the Balakot strike carried out by the Indian Air Force. Last year, during the early hours of the 26th of February, air strikes were conducted on terrorist training facilities in Balakot of Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. In this operation, a very large number of Jaish-e-Mohammed JEM terrorists, trainers, senior commanders and groups of jihadis who were being trained for Fidain action were eliminated. Addressing a public rally at Churu in Rajasthan on the same day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had reassured that the country is in safe hands.
आज चूरू की धरती से मैं देशवासियों को विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि देश सुरक्षित हाथों में है। सौगंध मुझे इस मिट्टी की, मैं देश नहीं मिटने दूंगा, मैं देश नहीं रुकने दूंगा, मैं देश नहीं झुकने दूंगा.
A report by our correspondent.
The air strike was conducted after the terror attack by a Pakistan-based terrorist organization Jaish-e-Mohammed on a CRPF convoy in Pulwama on 14th of February last year, in which 40 soldiers were martyred. Credible intelligence was received that JEM was attempting another suicide terror attack in various parts of the country and the Fidain jihadis were being trained for this purpose. In the face of imminent danger, a preemptive strike became absolutely necessary. This non-military preemptive action was specifically targeted at the JEM camp. The Government of India is firmly and resolutely committed to taking all necessary measures to fight the menace of terrorism. Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
Now we move on to our series Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. In Gujarat, an 8-day cultural bonanza called Vasantotsav kicked off yesterday on the theme of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. A report.
The 8-day cultural fair called Vasantotsav was inaugurated yesterday at Sanskriti Kunj in Gandhinagar. The annual festival is organized by the Department of Youth and Cultural Affairs, Government of Gujarat to celebrate the rich and diverse heritage of the country. This year, the theme of the festival is Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Artists from across India have come to Gujarat to participate in the festival. Chhattisgarh being the pair state of Gujarat, the festival was kicked off yesterday with the performance of Panthi dance, which is a local dance form of Chhattisgarh. Along with dance performances, several stalls have been set up to showcase and sell various local traditional handicrafts of different states. Aparna Khun, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Egypt's former President Mohammed Hosni Mubarak, who ruled the country for 30 years, passed away yesterday. He was 91. A former Air Force chief, Mubarak became Vice President of Egypt on 14th October 1981 and just 8 days later was sworn in as the president after Islamist militants assassinated his predecessor Anwar Sadat during a military parade. In the ongoing Khelo India University Games in Odisha, Savitribai Phule Pune University was on top with 14 medals, including 7 gold and 2 silver medals on the 5th day yesterday. And for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Abhishek Mukhopadhyay.
Thank you, Valsa. The Trump-Modi bilateral talks and violence in Northeast Delhi received prominent coverage in the press. India-US decide to elevate ties to be global strategic partners, headlines the Indian Express. Trade deal with tariff king India by year-end. The Economic Times quotes Trump in its lead. Bring Mumbai Pathankot attackers to justice. Trump Modi to Pak, notes the Tribune. And with that, it's back to you, Valsa.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Donald Trump pledged to strengthen India-US comprehensive global strategic partnership. India-United States signed defense deals worth $3 billion. Home Minister Amit Shah says adequate forces have been deployed in affected areas of national capital. Situation is under control. Egypt's former President Mohammed Hosni Mubarak, who ruled the country for 30 years, passes away. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.